All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. My name is Polzin with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the top GPP stacks here for week 13. As you guys know, this has been a pretty successful video thus far this season. A lot of people have been close to or have taken down GPPs using these stacks. So hopefully we can get that to you guys again. I will say it is a better week for stacking purposes. The last few weeks, it's kind of just been weird. I will say the slates have not been as sexy. This one is going to be much better. Just a reminder, if you guys enjoy the coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to put out more content for you guys. All right, let's get into the top stacks for this week. As you guys will see, the stacking report is a little bit different. This is a kind of beta that I'm testing out to see if I like it a little bit more. It has the refresh at the bottom and whatnot. So right now I have it sorted by the top stack projection. So as we can see, it is going to be the LA Chargers. Okay, those players are popping up a decent amount. That makes sense. The one that I like as well is going to be San Francisco. So guys, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but Stat Hero is a sponsor of the channel. Okay, and I think this is a great way to kind of use the stacking report as an application of which team you should be choosing in the survivor pool. So they have 3 different contest types: head-to-head, pick'em, and survivor. The survivor is a lot of fun, especially when you apply the knowledge very well. And it's just kind of another add-on to kind of the DFS side of it. So looking at right now, you just have to beat the Cleveland Browns, and who knows how they're going to do. Okay, so just real quickly, looking at the stacking report, we could either go Chargers, San Francisco, or possibly Minnesota. So let's just go Chargers. MVP, Austin Eckler, and then you're just filling in from there. It's as simple as that, and it should be a good week. Let's go Josh Palmer and DeAndre Carter. Wild card will go Justin Tucker, just match it, and boom, it's slightly projected to beat theirs. It's just kind of a fun little way to apply the knowledge in a different way. But looking at right now, yes, the top stacks: Chargers, Niners, Minnesota, Cincy. And just a reminder, guys, for Stat here, if you guys want to join, it's a great offer. Just use the promo code 9 to 5. You'll get a deposit match, and then that helps me as well. I get a little bit of a credit for that as well. It's a fun little avenue you guys can use. So yeah, we can see the top projected stacks. Okay, so let's get into the top value stacks. Which stacks are going to give you the most bang for your buck? The Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is going to be definitely true if we see that Jaylen Warren is going to be the starting running back, which I think it's going to be. Obviously, the news changes throughout the day. We'll have to wait and see on that. As it sits right now, this is a very intriguing stack. One, they get a great matchup with Atlanta. Should be lower owned. Pat Freiermuth been getting a decent amount of targets. Kenny Pickett looking better as the season has progressed. Deontay Johnson, very cheap as well. Then Jaylen Warren, that makes a lot of sense. And then, wow. Yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. If Travis Etienne is active, great matchup for him. He should be able to go off. Trevor Lawrence, I think he'll be the best game of his career. Following the best game of his career. Christian Kirk, you could easily play. Instead of Evan Ingram, you could go Zay Jones as well. So pretty good stuff there. Then we look at the Chargers as well popping up there. I mean, it's a pretty easy stack. It's one you could probably run out every single week. Keenan, Herbert, Eckler, and you're pretty good. And then Niners, you could easily just run out this stack as well. Now let's look into the top projected owned stacks. I'll throw in the ownership leverage as well. So the Chargers stack is gaining the most ownership. That does make sense. And then Las Vegas as well. Okay. And then people are going with KC. Makes a lot of sense, cheaper and whatnot. That does make sense. Let's look at stack ownership leverage rank. Which stack is going to give you the best leverage on the field? That's going to be that Pittsburgh stack. I like to see that. Obviously, New England not on this slate. And I do have it sorted by game time, guys. So if we wanted to, just take these 2 off, and then it's going to be the main slate only. Okay, easy stuff there. So the Niner stack, pretty low owned. You can definitely get on the Niner stack. I like that. Jacksonville stack is going to be a good one as well. So let's go ahead and jump into DraftKings, and we'll apply this knowledge. I will say, let's just start. We'll go game by game and scroll on our way down. I do think there's a path in which the Green Bay Packers stack is great. One, if Aaron Rodgers is active, he always plays well against Chicago Bears. It wouldn't be surprising for this to be his best game. And he has looked good-ish. Good enough. Like, he has progressively gotten better, and he's been a very consistent fantasy producer. Now he gets a great matchup. And, against the Eagles, he was right on track. If he had played, let's just say you give him Jordan Love stats, would have been a good game for him as well. Probably going to be his best game of the year against the Bears. I don't mind that. If Jordan Love plays, I actually like him a lot. Then you could go Aaron Jones as well. So let's just put it out there. Rodgers, Jones. I think Jones could have a massive game. And then you're going Christian Watson. Possibly could go Romeo Doubs, although he's priced up too much. Don't mind the idea of Allen Lazard. And then you could actually run it back with David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery should be in for a great spot, a pretty solid price point for him as well. His best game of the year, rushing wise, was against the Green Bay Packers. And then looking at it, I don't hate the idea of Byron Pringle at the minimum price. especially in terms of stack. I've kind of talked up Byron Pringle as a value play this whole week, and this is kind of how you apply that knowledge as well in GPPs. You know, if you need a player that low, I think it could be him as well. So now probably everyone's favorite game to stack, I would assume this week, is going to be Pittsburgh versus Atlanta, because it should be a very easy game to stack. You could either go with Marcus Mariota or Kenny Pickett. You know, if you are doing 20 entries, just put both of them in there. You know, they're priced close enough. Let's go Kenny Pickett for now. Once again, Najee Harris, if he's active, that makes this a little bit harder. But yes, you're going Jaylen Warren. And I do want to point out, guys, Cordero Patterson finally outsnapped Tyler Algier last week. We'll see if that's a trend that's going to continue or not. It seems like they're just, I don't know, kind of firing at the hip pretty much. So yes, Deontay Johnson, you could go George Pickens. I don't mind Drake London. Steven Sims Jr. is pretty cheap as well. Let's go Drake London, and then Pratt Freiermuth in there as well. Like, this is a very solid game stack. And I guess you would probably want to get Cordero Patterson in there for game stacking purposes. Are we overloading on this game a little bit too much? Probably, but at the same time, it would not be shocking to see it go off. Obviously, you could fill in, upgrade where needed. Maybe you don't want to go 2 or 3 Pittsburgh Steelers pass catchers. That does seem a little bit too much. Maybe you're just going up from them, paying up for Travis Kelce, and then, you know, another stud to fit in the defense. I don't mind that route. Then another really easy game to stack is going to be Jacksonville versus Detroit. Yes, Trevor Lawrence is in a great spot. I've talked him up a bunch. He should be able to go off. This should be the best game of his career. It's set up for it to be the best game of his career thus far. Easiest matchup, coming off of the best game of his career, a momentum game as well. Like, he should be locked into having a great game. If Travis Etienne is active, then he should be a solid play, especially in a game stack. The issue with him is that he needs to get a little bit more work in the passing game. Just hasn't happened. And now he's coming off, I know he got injured last week, but he's coming off of 2 games in which, you know, lackluster. Obviously, if he sets Jermichael Hasty, just fire him up, should be a great play. I don't know. I just don't trust the Detroit Lions running backs. So from there, you can go St. Brown, Kirk. If Williams is active, I don't like that, because I do think DJ Chark is going to be a great play, especially at his price point. He's a player that I've been wanting to play a lot. And then Zay Jones, guys. Zay Jones, you've heard me talk him up a decent amount this season. He was a big beneficiary to a good week last week. Very cheap last week. You know, I didn't see 14 targets coming in, but I said it wasn't the realm of possibilities for him to get 10 targets, especially playing 90% of the snaps in a good matchup. Wouldn't be surprising to see him have a good game as well this week. In stacks, it makes a lot of sense to play him. I don't know if we need to go a tight end here. So this is actually a decent stack in itself. For Cleveland versus Houston, the simple way to attack this game is this, and then you're done. Okay, these 2 running backs get the best matchups really on the slate, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them both go off. That's going to be a low-owned stack as well. Minnesota Jets, I'm staying away from that for the most part. Washington, New York, staying away from them. You could possibly go Philly in a stack against Tennessee. I'm not loving that too much. Rams, not loving that. A lot of people are probably going to stack this game, as they probably should. You could go Jimmy G. I don't think we have to play any of the running backs, although if you wanted to, Christian McCaffrey should be in for a solid, productive day. The thing with it is I would rather pay up for other running backs in good spots, okay? So instead, we're going to go Tyreek Hill. You go Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, and I think it's going to be a George Kittle week. I think George Kittle is going to be in for a great week, so let's just finish this build out with the other plays on the slate. So you can go Nick Chubb. You can go Jaylen Warren. Okay, we can't go Nick Chubb. Whatever, Kyron Williams for now, for example purposes. Then we got a decent amount of salary left over for a flex. Let's see who we can fit in there. Maybe Drake London, you know, going on a different game that we like to stack. Could do that. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's an okay look at it. And then, guys, the problem with it is we got 2 other games that are going to be pretty elite games to stack. So we got about 6 or so really solid stacks that we can go with game-wise. And the problem with this week is that there's not one particular game that you should be stacking ahead of the other. Like, for a while, it was literally, we're running out stacks against Miami, which you can do that this week, but we don't have that because there's so many games in one, great matchups, but there's no real cheap price points for a game stack. And that was the thing with the Miami stacks earlier in the year. It's like players were too cheap. So it's very easy to make a great game stack. Whereas for this slate, the really only great game stack value price point wise is going to be Pittsburgh versus Atlanta. All these other ones you're paying up for the premium. Okay, which is fine. That can hit, but you worry about that. So looking at this one, just right off the bat, we can see Joe Burrow averaging 4 less DK points per game than Patrick Mahomes, and he gets a better matchup and a much cheaper price point. First stack in this game, let's go Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon, if he's healthy, I probably don't want to play any of the Bengals running backs. If he's not healthy, maybe you're looking at P. Ryan, who was used in the passing game a lot. If this is going to be a high-scoring game, Ryan could be a very strong price point play. Pacheco, I'm not rolling with. I do really love T. Higgins in this game. T. Higgins should be able to have a good game. If Jamar Chase is out, which I think he will be active, but if he's out, then you're looking at Tyler Boyd. If he's active, kind of makes this situation too cloudy. Juju should be back healthy. I don't mind playing him. And then obviously, if you're stacking this game, you're going with Travis Kelce. A unique way to stack it. I don't love this. You could go Hayden Hurst though as a value flex play. That's just one way to attack it. And now getting into the last stack of the night day. Once again, I love both quarterbacks. I think Justin Herbert has a little bit more upside. But this is another one of those situations where if I'm stacking this game, which I'm going to be doing, I'm going to run out 2 stacks, one with Justin Herbert and one with Derek Carr at the quarterback. For now, I'm going to go with Herbert because I think he has the highest ceiling, although Derek Carr should be able to have a good game as well. And it's simple. Austin Eckler, boom, Keenan Allen. Can we get Adams in there? I don't know if we can. We'll try. Tight end, Moreau. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, it's definitely not going to work. Probably can't play Adams with all those guys in there. So we'll go off of Adams. And then once again, I think Warren's just the play. So we're going to put him in there. Pay down for the lowest price defense. Decent amount of salary left over. Can go Christian Watson, who I think is going to be great. Let's go Jordan Palmer or Josh Palmer for the sake of the stack. And then what salary do we have left over? Okay, we can be looking at maybe Kendall Hinton, who's been a good value. You could go with Pringle. Let's go with Hinton for now. It should be a decent value. And that's another decent stack. See, guys, we have a lot of great stacks for this week. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Give me a like and subscribe. That helps me be able to put out more content for you guys. All right, let's have a good slate. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.